And so today, there's this interesting number here. I just titled it Rick Astley because, I'll explain the details to you now. But I'll just say my friend sent me this link and he's like, yo, it's that Rickroll thing again. And so I clicked on it. I could have gotten scammed, so I don't know why I clicked on it, but I did anyway.
This is the emergency alert system. This system was developed by broadcast and cable operators to keep you informed in the event of the emergency. All programming has been suspended for the duration of this emergency. Inbound missiles are headed towards the United States, and they are likely to target the major cities throughout the country. If you are in a rural area, you most likely won't be hit as bad but still need to seek shelter. The NORAD is launching counterfeit strikes and using their defense system to shoot down enemy missiles. The projected cities in the path of the missiles are New York, Boston, Detroit, Chicago, Miami, Washington, D.C., New Orleans, Houston, Dallas, Oklahoma City, Los Angeles, San Francisco, Seattle, and the Yellowstone caldera. It is unknown if these missiles are ballistic or nuclear or neither. However, if they are nuclear, then they are likely capable of wiping out cities. Perhaps the worst threat of all is if the missile lands inside the Yellowstone caldera, then the Yellowstone supervolcano will erupt within the next 10 to 15 minutes after it is dropped. The president will make a speech after the attack, to provide hope and stability to the American. This is the emergency alert system. This system was developed by broadcast and cable operators to keep you informed in the event of an emergency. Civil authorities in your local areas have sounded the all-clear siren. But before you leave your shelters, we want to inform you of the aftermath of the missile strikes. The NORAD shot down 13 of the 14 projected missiles completely, destroying them in a fireball over the sky. Nobody was injured in the process of the shoot-downs. However, one ballistic missile was attempted to be shot down before it could reach Dallas, Texas. The missile broke in half and fell over the city of Montgomery, Alabama. The massive explosions as a result did severe damage to the city, and it may take a long time before it recovers. Despite this, the entire country was spared from a mass destruction event. Had the missiles destroyed the other cities mentioned, along with the Yellowstone caldera, the United States would have been apocalyptically destroyed. The Yellowstone supervolcano would have erupted and the western United States would have been covered in ash. Millions of lives would have been lost, and the future of this country would be extremely grim. Nobody would be able to get out of their shelters, and it would have taken years, even decades until that was possible. By then everyone would have died and the country would pretty much be abandoned altogether. But thanks to the NORAD, the United States Armed Forces, and homemade civilian air weapons, we as a country have quite literally dodged a major bullet. Unfortunately, due to the fact that weapons of mass destruction were used against us, this means that war is imminent with the opposing side. There is only one thing that we ask for all of you citizens of the United States to do, and that is to pray. Pray to God about the entire situation, and all that has gone on. After all, we are one nation under God, indivisible, and no war, disaster, earthquake, hurricane or missile strike can ruin us when we trust in God, for He is a refuge, and a shelter in a time of storm. This concludes this broadcast. This is the emergency alert system. This system was developed by broadcast and cable operators to keep you informed in the event of an emergency. This is an administrative message from the United States government. All programming on every network has been suspended to bring you this administrative message. We have been given the green light to deliver this important information. It has been confirmed that the United States has declared war on Russia, China and North Korea. They too have done the same, and as of this time we are now at war with those countries. This is a result of the missile strikes that occurred on October 24, 2022, in which Russia, with the aid of China, sent several North Korean intercontinental ballistic missiles towards the United States. The United States Navy has formed a blockade in the Atlantic Ocean to prevent Russian trade ships from crossing into American territory. In the Pacific, several ships are making their way towards North Korea and China, and they are attempting to launch missiles into cities such as Shanghai, Beijing, Wuhan, Pyongyang, and Moscow. The United States Army will commence an invasion of North Korea beginning within a few hours. Be prepared for any potential counterattacks. Stay tuned to the emergency alert system for further updates and information. This concludes this broadcast of the emergency alert system.
Please stand by. 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 Please stand by.
This is the emergency alert system. This system was developed by broadcast and cable operators to keep you informed in the event of an emergency. This is a national emergency alert. This is not a test. All programming has been suspended for the duration of this national emergency. Important details will follow. The following message has been transmitted at the request of the United States government. This is not a test. I repeat, this is not a test. This is a national emergency alert that is in effect for the entire United States. I regret to inform everyone that at approximately 10:38 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, the Yellowstone supervolcano was struck by a single Russian RS-28 Sarmat intercontinental ballistic missile. This missile has detonated inside the Yellowstone caldera, and the supervolcano has violently exploded as a result. The explosion sent magma and ash throughout the air, and pieces of the actual volcano are flying in all directions. Every town, village, or city within a 100-mile radius of Yellowstone has been apocalyptically destroyed. Anyone who is in the radius has unfortunately died due to failure to seek shelter or otherwise killed by flying debris. Ash will spread across the entire United States, and it is likely that most of the country will not return to normal for years, perhaps even decades. Please listen closely to the following instructions. Gather everyone in your household or vehicle, and get to shelter immediately. Grab food, water, a battery-operated radio, a flashlight, a first aid kit, and a battery-operated cell phone device. Get into a bomb shelter, or an interior room in a sturdy building. Stay away from doors and windows. Do not take cover outside, or you will face certain death or serious injury. If you are in a vehicle, get to the nearest building, get inside, and take cover immediately. The emergency alert system will remain on the air for the duration of this emergency, so you need to stay tuned to your local radio station that carries the system. Most importantly, do not panic. Panicking will only make the situation worse and will only cause more trouble. This is an unprecedented situation. A supervolcano eruption has never been recorded in the history of the United States. Without a doubt, we are currently living in dark times, and this event is likely to change the world forever. However, this is America, and in America, we don't just let disasters ruin us. We are one nation, under God, indivisible, and we will recover from this cataclysmic event. May God be with you all during these dark times. This is the emergency alert system. This system was developed by broadcast and cable operators to keep you informed in the event of an emergency. This is an emergency action termination officially issued by the United States government. 1 week ago, on January 19, 2023, a Russian RS-28 Sarmat missile was used to attack the Yellowstone caldera. As a result, the missile detonated inside the volcano and caused it to inevitably explode. The explosion resulted in the complete obliteration of areas within a 100-mile radius of Yellowstone National Park. Ashfall reached as far west as San Francisco, California, as far east as Chicago, Illinois, as far north as Saskatchewan, Canada, and as far south as the Rio Grande River in Mexico. If you are currently residing in areas covered in ash, do not leave your shelters. If you live in areas without any ash or debris, you may now leave your shelters. If you live within the 100-mile radius of Yellowstone but are not currently located there, do not return, as there is unfortunately nothing to return to. This event has never occurred in the history of the United States, or perhaps even the world altogether. Hundreds of thousands of people have died, and millions more are injured or homeless. Despite all that has occurred, the United States is conducting a plan to finally win this war once and for all. This action will not be tolerated under any circumstances. We must fight back. The United States, with the help of the United Kingdom and France, are conducting a plan to get revenge on Russia and China. It involves launching several nuclear and ballistic missiles with the power to do destructive damage to both the land and the sea. We will put Russia, China and North Korea in their places. More details will be released as soon as they become available to the public. This concludes this broadcast of the emergency alert system.
This is an emergency alert. This is not a test. The government of North Korea has issued an evacuation immediate alert for all of Pyongyang. As of this moment, there is currently a large B-83 nuclear missile headed towards Pyongyang, and we are currently watching it in the sky. You must get to shelter as soon as possible, for if you do not, you will die. There also appears to be another one, and as of this moment it has detonated underwater, and there is now a wall of water around 100 feet high, coming straight at the city. You need to seek shelter now before you get blown up.
This is an emergency alert. This is not a test. The government of North Korea has issued an evacuation immediate alert for all of Pyongyang. As of this moment, there is currently a large B-83 nuclear missile headed towards Pyongyang, and we are currently watching it in the sky. You must get to shelter as soon as possible, for if you do not, you will die. There also appears to be another one, and as of this moment it is detonated underwater, and there is now a wall of water around 100 feet high, coming straight at the city. You need to seek shelter now.
Относительная влажность воздуха 58%. Ветер юго-западный 2 метра в секунду.
The country of Russia is under attack from nuclear weapons. This is not a drill. You must seek shelter now. Inbound nuclear missiles are imminent for the city of Moscow, and you must take cover now. Get inside a basement or storage building and stay away from doors and windows. Get into an interior room on the lowest floor of the building and protect yourself and your family. Do not wait. Seek shelter now.
This is the emergency alert system. This system was developed by broadcast and cable operators to keep you informed in the event of an emergency. This is an administrative message from the United States government. All programming on every channel has been suspended for this message. It has now been confirmed that Russia, China, and North Korea have officially surrendered to the United States, United Kingdom, and France. On February 1, 2023, at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 nuclear and ballistic missiles were launched from several destroyers and battleships located in the western Pacific Ocean. A B-83 missile struck the city of Pyongyang, North Korea, completely destroying everything within a 50-mile radius of the city. Another one struck the Yellow Sea, triggering a 100-foot tsunami wave that flooded out the west coast of North Korea. Parts of South Korea and eastern China were also hit with tsunami waves. A ballistic missile of unknown type was intended to strike Shanghai, but missed and ended up hitting near the city of Wuhan. This attack was not nearly as bad as the events in Pyongyang, but it was still enough to bring China down to its knees. And finally, 2 nuclear missiles both exploded over Moscow, Russia. They obliterated the entire cityscape and flattened it to the point where Russia has no choice but to rebuild Moscow elsewhere. There are many people both in Russia and the United States that are angry at the military for killing mass civilians, while others say that this action was justified for ending the war quickly. Similar to the atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Whether this action was or wasn't justifiable, the war with Russia is over. Should the US become allies with Russia, we will help them rebuild as much as possible. Trade with China will now resume to normal levels, and the conflict between North and South Korea is also over after nearly 78 years. As of this time, we can now breathe easy and return to peace with these countries. We must all thank the Lord Jesus Christ for getting us through this extremely difficult couple of months. God bless America, the land of the free, and the home of the brave. This concludes this broadcast of the emergency alert system. All programming will now resume.